Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. What I want to talk about today is keratins. So we are quarantined to our houses and we cannot leave right now. So the question on everyone's mind is, when are we going to be able to leave our house? And what million things am I going to do when I can get back into public and spend all my money and, feel normal? So I'm guessing it's probably going to be springtime. The weather's going to be nice. It's going to be warming up. And one of the things that a lot of my clients do and that I recommend is a keratin treatment. So I want to go over the top 6 questions that I get about keratin treatments, and you can decide if it's something for you. So the first question I get is, what is a keratin treatment and what does it do? And basically, a keratin treatment is a treatment that you get in the salon. You don't do it at home. A professional does it, and it is a strengthening anti-frizz protein treatment that goes on your hair and slowly washes away when you shampoo. So it's temporary. That does a bunch of things. So the benefits are, it smooths frizz, it reduces your drying time, and it makes your hair stronger. How it does that is it basically takes keratin protein and fills all the little holes in your hair that either occur there naturally or are, manually inflicted. So some people have natural dryness, natural dullness, naturally fine, brittle, breakable hair. There's a lot of reasons why you could have brittle hair. Thyroid imbalances often result in brittle hair. It doesn't matter how many oils you put on. It doesn't matter what kind of hydrating serums you use. It doesn't matter, because from the inside of your body, this is what's happening, and your hair will show it. So filling in all those little holes, they can also happen from heat. They can happen from friction, hair bands, bobby pins, wind, salt water in the air. There can be a million things that can compromise the integrity of your hair. So the keratin will fill all those little holes with keratin, and then it's, sealed down and smooth, which I'll get into. But it basically, for that, looks shinier. The water wicks off of your hair faster. It's like you're putting a little plastic wrap seal on the outside of your hair. It slowly goes away as you shampoo it, but that's essentially what it does. So like I said, the water, when you take a shower, when you swim or whatever, will kind of just drip right off a lot faster. So if you have the kind of hair that you have to spend 20 minutes like blow drying it, and then you have to take a curling iron or a flat iron and smooth it and style it, and it becomes really damaging to your hair, or it takes a lot of your time, a keratin is great for you because the water just kind of flies right off, and it cuts your drying time down to 8 minutes, and then, curling or flat ironing for 2. So it becomes like a 25-30 minute ordeal to like 10 minutes. It also makes your hair stronger. So anybody who has bleached hair, like people that get highlights, balayage, blonde, anything that compromises the integrity of your hair by removing color, creates little holes in your hair. So you have to picture it's like Swiss cheese, you're removing color and now you have all these little holes. So your hair becomes very elastic, it feels very dry, the light refracts into it instead of reflects, so it looks dull. So filling all those little holes makes it stronger, like a rope, and also makes it shinier because you are now reflecting more light. And so it can do a whole bunch of things. You can grow your hair stronger, longer. Like if you get to that point where your hair just seems to grow from your root because you're getting it colored all the time, but it doesn't seem to be getting any longer, you would be a great candidate for a keratin because it's going to build up the you know, the strength and integrity of your hair down here, so that as it's growing out of your scalp, it's actually getting longer and it's not just breaking all at that point. So those are kind of some of the main benefits. How long does it last? So the keratin sticks to the outside of the hair, and I will get into the process next of actually like how it goes on. But it's supposed to last about 3 to 4 months. Now I have people that tell me it's lasted 8 to 10 weeks, and I have people tell me that they've gotten 6 months out of it. So of course it's gonna be different for every single person. But generally you can expect it to last about 3 to 4 months. 3 months if you're washing your hair like every other day, and probably closer to 4 months if you're washing your hair every third day. Now, if you're the kind of person that has like crazy thick hair that never gets oily, you never have to wash it, you can style it 6 days in a row and it looks great, and you get a keratin, then obviously your keratin's gonna last a lot longer. It's probably gonna last closer to 6 months. If you have the kind of hair that you wash every single day, although I highly recommend that you don't do that, you're gonna wash it down the drain a lot faster. So you might be the person that feels like after 8 weeks it's gone. And the reason being, which leads into my next question, is what is the process? You know, where does it go? So first, the brand that I use is called Brazilian Silk. And this is what the bottles look like. This is the brand. It's Brazilian Silk, not to be confused with the Brazilian Blowout, because they are completely different products, and they both have the word Brazilian in them, so that's very confusing. But this is Brazilian Silk. I choose this product because it is OSHA approved. It has the lowest level of formaldehyde. It might not even have any in it. If there is, when you run the flat iron over it, there's a steam that's let off that has a very, very, very small amount of formaldehyde. But there's no active ingredient in this. So when I explain the process, I'll explain what that means, but there's no active ingredient in it. It doesn't sit on your hair and process. The keratin is activated by a flat iron. So this is what I use, and I love it. And like I said, 3 to 4 months generally. So what's the process? If you were to come in and get a keratin, what is it gonna be like? How long is it gonna take? And you know, can I not wash my hair for 3 days and all that kind of stuff? No, you don't have to worry about those rules. You can wash your hair whenever. If you get caught in the rain when you leave, it's okay. If you want to go to the gym right after that day, you can. There is no downtime with this product, which is one of the reasons I love it, because we don't have time for downtime anymore. A lot of products on the market, you have to wait 3 days. And that means that you go to the salon, you get it put in your hair, and then you go home and you have to wait 72 hours before you can get it wet, or you can put a bend in it, put it up, or take a shower. And that's really hard for a lot of people. You know, we have active lifestyles, we have children, we put our hair up, we go to the gym, you know, and it's really hard not to touch your hair for 3 days. A lot of people work, like they don't want to have their hair flat ironed, stick down to their head, you know, it gets greasy with product in it, and then like they're trying to go to a meeting and they can't even pull it off their face. So there's no downtime for this. When you leave my chair, your hair is ready to go. You can do whatever you want, which is awesome. The process is roughly, I would say, 2 hours. You know, if you have short hair or you have really fine hair or you don't have a lot of hair, I would cut it down to like 1 hour and 15 to 1.5 hours. If you have super long, thick hair, maybe 2.5 hours. It's never taken me more than 3 hours on anybody's hair. And so I would cap it at 3 hours, but most 1.5 hours to 2 hours. It's just like a color treatment. You know, I always tell everybody to book 2 hours to come get their hair done, even for like a minimal maintenance appointment. So how it works is you'll come in. It does not matter what your hair is like when you get here, because the first thing that I do is just take you right to the sink and wash your hair. So it doesn't matter if you're sweaty, it doesn't matter if it's clean, dirty, it doesn't matter. I wash your hair 2 times with clarifying shampoo. The first clarifying shampoo is gonna take out any product that's in your hair. And the second one is really gonna clean your scalp. So sometimes I let it sit for 5 minutes. It's gonna get rid of any buildup. It's just gonna clean your hair to the utmost so that the shaft is very ready to receive, the keratin product, and nothing is like getting in the way, like natural oil or like hairspray or anything like that. So you come in, I wash your hair 2 times with clarifying shampoo. Then you'll get a little fluff dry. So your hair will be about 50% wet, and then the silk will go on. So this is the actual treatment. So it'll go on your hair. I just kind of paint it on. It won't really affect you at all. It spreads, and then once that's all on, then I have to dry your hair, because the actual keratin is activated by the flat iron going over the product. So your hair has to be dry for a flat iron to go over it in order not to damage it. So I have to dry your hair at that point. Now, if you have sensitive eyes, I do, this is gonna be a time where there is a little release burn off in the air, and it can irritate your eyes. Some people have had no reaction at all. They're like, no big deal, doesn't even matter. Some people are like, oh my God, this is burning my eyes. So, you can put a towel over your eyes. I try to direct it away from your face, but ultimately there's gonna be a little steam that comes off your hair that has a little bit of that, product in it. So you dry the hair 100%. So now you've got clean hair with the product brushed through it and then dried. Now, I'm gonna take a flat iron and go section by section and activate that keratin. So, the flat iron's usually at about 410. One of the questions that people ask me is, will this damage my hair? And the answer is no. The product is actually great for your hair. It's gonna fill in all those holes. It's gonna make it healthier. It's gonna make it stronger. It's gonna build it up. But you have to pass a flat iron, a very hot flat iron, over your hair with this product on it to make it activated, to make it stick to your hair so you can go home and take 30, 40 showers or way more than that, and not have it wash down the drain just like conditioner. So if your hair is so compromised that otherwise you could not pass a 400 or 400 degree flat iron over it, then you're not really gonna be a candidate for this, because you have to be able to pass that flat iron over to activate the product. If that flat iron going over your hair is gonna burn it off or break it off, you're kind of out of luck. You need to build up your hair healthy enough with other things like deep conditioners and protein masks, and honestly, no heat for a while, enough until you can pass that flat iron over, because that heat that you're putting on the hair is the only part that's going to be quote unquote damaging. Now, most people, their hair can handle a 400 degree flat iron passing over it 3 or 4 times. Well, because honestly, a lot of people style their hair with a flat iron, and that's fine. So that's really the only thing that's gonna be like, I guess, damaging. But it's part of the process. And in the big picture, it's really not super damaging. So it's only if your hair is compromised enough that it can't support that. So the flat iron gets passed over it, and then your hair is totally pin straight with the keratin on it, and it's dry. And I'm gonna bring you back to the sink and rinse it all out. So everybody laughs because I spend all this time, running over it with the flat iron, and it's shiny and fresh and straight, and it looks really good. And then I have to wet it again. But basically you just rinse the extra product out of it, and then the neutralizer goes on. So this is a neutralizing mask, and what that's gonna do is go and seal the cuticle of your hair down. So everything that was opened with the heat, will open the cuticle of the hair. The neutralizing mask will seal it back down. That keratin product is tight on there, and you ultimately also leave with clean hair. So you sit at the sink with that on your hair for about 10 minutes. And then conditioner, maybe it depends on your hair type. And also maybe like just a detangling spray, and then I blow you out. So you leave with a fresh blowout. You are ready to go. You can get your hair wet if you need to. Like I said, you can work out. It doesn't matter. And that process takes about 2 hours, give or take. So it's really simple. Products that you can use. What the question is, what can I use with the keratin? What's safe, what's not safe? So, you know, for colored hair, you want to use sulfate free. Basically what that means is there's no harsh detergents in there that's going to strip the color off of your hair. And the keratin, because it's like, you know, a molecule that's stuck to the outside of your hair and then it's kind of ironed on, it's not permanent. And though the results are cumulative, meaning so if you get it done more than once, you're going to experience more and more benefits, because the benefits are kind of going to pile on each other. The holes in your hair are going to get filled. And if you are to come back every 3 or 4 months and get another treatment, you're going to continue to build up the holes in your hair. So your hair is super healthy, straighter, shinier, more manageable, dries really fast, and they're cumulative. Now, if you wait enough time between keratin treatments to let it completely fade away and wash away, it will. So you want to make sure you're using products that are going to be the least harsh as possible, so that those aggressive detergents are not really just ripping the keratin molecule right off your hair and washing it down the drain. You don't want to spend, you know, a few $100s and a couple hours getting this treatment, hoping you get 3 or 4 months out of it, and then go home and use something that's going to just wash it down the drain in 6 or 7 showers. So you need to use a shampoo that is sodium chloride free. Sodium chloride is a detergent salt, it's a salt actually, that will strip down the keratin faster. So the product that I recommend for shampoo and conditioner, it's kind of like a middle of the road. It's cost effective, it's also great, it works very well, it smells good, it goes a long way, it bubbles. I know a lot of people are like, I don't like sulfate free because it doesn't bubble. It bubbles and you feel like your hair is clean, but it also is sodium chloride free. Is this Redken Frizz Dismiss. It comes in an orange bottle. They remade the bottle. It used to come in gold bottles, but it comes in like this orange bottle, and it says right on it, sodium chloride free. So that is what's going to be safe for your keratin. Now, I usually give a bottle of shampoo with my keratins. Why do I do that? Because for a couple of years, I would tell people what to get, and they would not. So they would wash their keratins down the drain. You know, they would say they're gonna do it. They leave the appointment. They never get the shampoo. And I don't know why, it's just a challenge. So I just decided to rope it into my cost. I give you, not this big bottle, this is a professional size, but a normal, you know, like 8.5 or 10 ounce bottle of shampoo. And this way, when you go home, you use this product and it should last the life of the keratin. So you should get 3 or 4 months out of it. You should get 3 or 4 months out of your bottle of shampoo. So I just want to ensure that you're using the right thing. And this is what I recommend. So if you want to re-up on it, it's called Frizz Dismiss, and they make a shampoo and conditioner and it's great. Okay, how much is the treatment? So it depends on where you are and your salon. But generally you can estimate between about $200 and $400. And like I said, it should last about 3 to 4 months. So personally, I charge $225. That includes your bottle of shampoo and a trim. So most people, when they come in and get this treatment, their goal is to have healthy hair, right? So they want to freshen up their layers, or they want to take the dead off their length. So I usually go in and just dust it or give a nice trim and shape up to get the dead ends off. So $225 is what I charge, but I have seen the cost of this exact treatment in my area for $375. So just to be honest, the price can really vary. And I had written down damage, but I kind of highlighted that when we talked about the process of running the flat iron over it. So that's a keratin treatment. You know, it's great for everybody. It's something that I have some people do consistently, like every 3 and 4 months, because they love the benefits of it. I also have people that do it once a year, like the first or second weekend of June or July, and they love the frizz-free life for the summer, or it softens their curl pattern, or it makes it dry faster, or it makes it so they feel like they can leave their house with damp hair, or if they're putting a bunch of heat time styling it in, then when they go outside or it's like muggy, it's not gonna just immediately frizz up and look terrible, or if they go on vacation. So summertime is a super, super popular time to do this. And this is a great time for you to kind of figure out if it's something that you should do. I just thought of one more question and I'm gonna wrap it up. So the final question that I get is, can you do it at the same time as color? Or how long do you have to space it out? And the simple answer is, yes, technically you can do it at the same time as color, but I have to tell you if what you do for color is going to work with this at the same time. The reason is because your hair can only absorb so much at one time. So if you're doing color that deposits into your hair will only accept the color, and then it's not going to accept a keratin on top of it. The pH of your hair has to balance back out, and then you can do the other one. So if you were to do the keratin first and then put color on top of it, it's going to take the keratin, it's not going to take the color, and vice versa. You put the color on, it's going to take the color, it's not going to take the keratin. So you can't do them at the same time. There are exceptions to that though, like highlights. If you just do highlights, highlights actually pulls color from your hair. So you can do highlights and a keratin at the same time because the highlights remove color and then the keratin will fill back in. Or you could do a root retouch, which is just a tiny little 1/2 inch of your hair at the root. And then you can do the keratin, which is really gonna only impact that tiny little 1/2 inch at the root. But if you are doing something like an all over color or an all over toner, you really need to give your hair like a week or 2 in between so that the pH balances back out and then the other treatment or other color is received. And so they don't like cancel each other out. But those are basically like the top questions that I get. So I hope this helped you. And I think that a keratin is great for everybody at one point or another, whatever your goals are. So it's something that you should ask me about. And I will be offering them this spring and summer. Well, year round, but spring and summer is when I'm probably gonna see you guys again. So if you have any questions, reach out to me and I will see you in my next video. Thanks.